Hi, welcome to MiniMotoOwner channel. Today I ride NMAX 155cc 2025 version, which was released in Indonesia first, and today I rode it in Japan. First of all, the engine is a liquid-cooled 4-stroke SOHC 4-valve single cylinder with a near square bore and stroke. Most Yamaha scooters in this class use a similar design, so there is nothing particularly outstanding about the engine itself. However, the addition of VVA variable valve actuation, touring sports mode, and shift down function enhances this riding experience. The adoption of a hydraulic cam chain tensioner has made city riding smoother and quieter. The front suspension didn't feel much difference to me if I compare this version of NMAX and previous version of NMAX. But the rear shock absorber has been extended by 5mm. The seat has also been redesigned, so it's hard to say which change contributed more to the improved comfort, but the ride is less stiff than before, approaching the comfort of the PCX, which was released in Honda. Brakes. The front uses a single position hydraulic disc brake, and the rear is the same, both with ABS for safety. Compared to the PCX, maintenance is easier thanks to the single piston setup. However, the PCX front brake has a more linear feel when applied. Body appearance. As seen at the motorcycle show in Osaka of Japan, the design is stylish and attractive. Then there is some areas where your feet may not be flat on the ground. I'm a 182cm tall, so when I sit at the front of the seat, my heels barely touch, but are not flat. If I move to the rear of the seat, my heels lift off the ground. Instrument panel. There are 2 meters, one at the top and one at the bottom. Considering the NX Max trend, the next NMAX might switch to a side-by-side layout. The lower TFT meter sometimes reflects sunlight, but the upper speed meter is easy to read and provides all the essential information to see the speed. Windshield shape is quite cool. Having a black windshield as a standard is a nice touch compared to clear option. By the way, I don't know other countries. This might be only Japanese version. Lighting. All lighting is LED. The front features a project headlight and the rear is also fully LED. Hazard lights are included. Buttons. There are lots of buttons which can be confusing at first. The left side buttons have similar tactile feedback, so it's easy to press the wrong one if you wear gloves. The left side includes high, low beam, turn signal horn, shift down, home, and meter operation buttons. The right side has idle stop on and off, hazard, and electronic start buttons. The numbers of buttons keeps increasing. I wonder how many more will be added. Storage. There are 2 glove boxes. The right one is openable. The left one is for bottles maybe. The right side can fit most smartphone. For example, I put iPhone SE2 and also Pixel 9 Pro XL. Both of them are suitable. The left side has a Type-C charging port, but it's not under a cover, so charging in the rain is not ideal. Underseat storage is smaller than the PCX, which has 30 little. A full-face helmet does not fit. The helmet hook is located inside, which is a bit unusual. And city riding. First there's a mode switch as a scooter with a centrifugal clutch, increasing the revs, pushes the belt outward on the pulley side. In sports mode, pressing a button gives a strong sense of the belt being pushed out. If I could see inside the crankcase, it would be interesting to watch. VVA engages around 6,000 RPM, changing the engine sound at higher revs. And making acceleration feel more exciting. City riding is smoother than before, NMAX 2 and a first generation, and I prefer this model over the previous generation, possibly due to the seat shape change. And the sound on the highway, the top speed is around 120 km per hour, but when I ride the previous version, max speed is 124 km per hour, which is sufficient for a 155cc scooter. Acceleration is noticeable up to about 110 km. After the speed increases gradually if the road is long and straight. A comfortable vibration-free speed is up to about 90 km per hour. Merging is easy with the shift down function or by simply switching to sports mode. It feels more powerful than a typical 155cc scooter. The frames feel stiffer than the PCX, making acceleration and control easier, but long rides on rough roads can be tiring. Mountain riding, the NMAX is one of the most agile scooters for cornering. If the shock absorbers are too stiff, it can feel bouncy, but overall, it's easy to take lanes. I think the NMAX has a higher center of gravity for scooter, which helps maintain lean angle in corner. However, the ground clearance is relatively low, so excessive could cause scraping. With ABS and traction control, it feels like a scooter that can handle any situation. Overall, NMAX 1M55 is one of amazing scooter which I've ride, so one day I need to compare NMAX to PCX.